Hi, Tyler. Hope you're doing okay. I'm just going to be going over your preguntas personales that will most likely be on your exam, in addition to the information about Cuba. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Here we go. This is a document that basically has an outline of all the information you'll need to know for your exam. I am going to share this with you. I know you have like a pretty simple layout that Senora Ward gave you, and the one I'm giving you also has a little bit more depth in addition to practice quizzes that you can click on and practice in order to prepare. So this is your vocabulary. I hope you're still working on your vocab. These are definitely going to be on your exam. Okay, so for preguntas personales, we're going to start with these. So the first question is, ¿cuál tipo de ropa llevas normalmente? And this is asking you, ¿cuál, which, tipo, type, de ropa, of clothing, llevas, that's one of your verbs, llevar, to wear, normalmente. So what type of clothing do you normally wear? And you can first try to think about your answer as though you're responding in English. Well, I wear casual clothing. I wear athletic clothing normally. So I would answer this question like, normalmente llevo ropa atlética. Or instead of atlética, you can say casual. You can say elegante. You can describe the clothing that you wear as cómoda. There's many different adjectives. So normalmente llevo ropa atlética, casual, elegante, cómoda. There are many different answers you can respond to this question. Okay, so the second question. ¿Vas de compras mucho? ¿Con quién? Okay, remember we're looking at this verb right here. This is ir conjugated, and it's remember ir de compras means to go shopping. So it's asking, do you go shopping often? And con quién? With who do you go shopping? Okay. We know that, again, whenever you're answering these questions, Tyler, you need to look at, is this question in present tense or is this question in preterite tense? That allows you to be prepared to answer either in preterite or present tense. And so far, I'm looking at this list, all of these questions are in present tense. But if you wanted to say, if this question was going to ask you, did you go shopping a lot? It would look like, ¿fuiste de compras mucho? ¿Con quién? You just need to take your time and double check to see if you spot preterite in the questions. Anyways, so vas de compras mucho. ¿Con quién? Okay. Sí. Or you would say sí, yes. Or no. Voy de compras mucho. ¿Con quién? You don't have to write a separate sentence. You can just say sí. yo voy, sí, yo voy de compras mucho con mi familia. A mi or a mi amigo, novia, girlfriend, etc. Okay, if this was going to be in preterite, I would say no fue, sorry, fui de compras mucho. I did not go shopping a lot. Con mi dot. Okay, this question, number 3. ¿Conoces? Remember, this is our saber and conocer, which means to know, but specifically conocer, it refers to knowing a person, a place, or a thing. And whenever typically you use conocer, you use it like conocer a dot. So this question is, ¿conoces a una persona de Cuba? I would respond, if you do, sí, yo conozco. I think it's Cecilia Cruz. Sí, yo conozco la cantante, that means the singer, Cecilia Cruz. So you would respond using the present tense of conocer. And remember that conocer is irregular. So again, you would answer, yo conozco dot, whoever you want to say. Okay, number 4. ¿Hay un centro comercial cerca de tu casa? There is or are. Is there a shopping center or mall near your home? And you could respond to sí. Or you could respond to no. Hay un centro comercial cerca mi casa. Cerca de mi casa. You can even say, if you want to be more specific, sí, hay el centro comercial de Haynes, cerca de mi casa. You can say specifically which one of the malls or shopping centers is located near your home. Okay, number 5. ¿Con qué frecuencia cambias tu ropa en un día? ¿Con qué? Remember what? This question is asking you, how often do you change your clothing in a day? Cambiar, to change. Okay. You can start this question off saying, usualmente, usually, cambio, I change, cambio mi ropa 2 veces. Okay? Veces. Veces means times. Okay? Or you can say, I wear 1 outfit a day. Yo llevo ropa una ropa toda el día. Todo el día. So again, you can just answer these questions as though you were responding in English, and you try to identify every word in Spanish that matches what you want to say in English. ¿Cuál marca de ropa es tu favorita? This question is asking you, what brand of clothing is your favorite? We can even use the verbs like gustar that you recently used. You can apply that in this situation and say, me gusta la marca, the brand de Gap. Okay. Or another way you can say this is la marca or mi marca más favorita. This is saying my favorite brand is I like Banana Republic. It can be Walmart. It can be whatever store you like, whatever brand you like. You can, again, with this question, you can use verbos like gustar, me gusta, or you can just say specifically mi marca más favorita, or you can even say la marca más favorita para mí is ... This is saying the brand, like my favorite brand is ... And you would say that. Okay, number 7. ¿Compras ropa en línea? ¿Por qué? Again, compras ropa en línea. Let me refer back to my notes on what does that mean. Ropa en línea. Okay, yes. This is asking, do you buy clothing online? Why? Well, with this pandemic, a lot of people buy clothing online, including myself. So you would say sí or o no. Compro, I buy, ropa en línea. And if you don't, give an answer why you don't. So I would say for me, sí, compro ropa en línea porque, we remember that, porque together is because, porque is más fácil is easier. It's easier, fácil. That's a good word to know. And I highly recommend that you get the, if you add Spanish language onto your computer, and whenever you edit documents in Spanish, it will allow you to have that type of autocorrect. Okay, so sí, compro ropa en línea porque es más fácil. You could say fácil, es más fácil, es más divertida, meaning that it's fun. It is fun sometimes well, for me, it is fun to search the web, buscar el sitio web para la ropa que me gusta. Okay, number 8. ¿Qué llevas a una cena formal? Okay, ¿qué llevas a una cena formal? This is asking, what do you wear to a fancy dinner? Well, at Prime, you can say al restaurante de Prime, yo llevo un traje y zapatos formales. This is saying at the restaurant of Prime, I wear a suit and fancy shoes. You could say, yo llevo una camisa formal con you can say yo llevo una camisa y pantalones formales. You could say I wear a fancy shirt and pants. Again, the verb that we're looking at is llevar. And how would we answer this if this was in preterite? ¿Qué? Preterite, it would be like, ¿qué llevaste a una cena formal? Well, we would need to respond in preterite. So I would say, llevé un traje con, for me, since I'm a girl, un vestido con purpurina. This is saying I wore, you would need to add the accent mark over the E. I wore a dress with glitter. Llevé un traje de azul. Again, that's how you would answer if it was in preterite versus present tense. Okay, let's move on. Number 9. Pagas con una tarjeta de crédito o de débito o dinero en efectivo. Do you pay with a debit card or do you pay in cash? You could say usually I pay in cash or usually I use my debit card or usually I pay with una tarjeta de débito. Solamente. You don't have to add you solamente. I like to add it because it shows that you are trying to answer this question pretty good. So let's try. Usualmente pago con una tarjeta de débito. Or you could just say pago con dinero en efectivo. Or pago con tarjeta de débito. What if or it could be credit. Tarjeta de crédito. you could say, and you could say if this was in preterite past tense, it would look like pagaste con una tarjeta de débito o dinero en efectivo. If it was in preterite, I would say pagué con, and you can say dinero, etc. You know, tarjeta de crédito, tarjeta de débito, dot, 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 dot. But again, you just need to look and see if you see preterite, or if you look and see if the question's asking you in present tense. Okay, number 10. ¿Qué tipo de ropa llevas durante el invierno? Well, this is asking you, what type of clothing do you wear during the winter? Well, you can say, like as though you're responding in English, in the wintertime, I wear a sweater. Or in the wintertime, I wear shorts. You can even say in the wintertime, I wear sandals. I think you wear flip-flops often. Tyler, so you can say, llevo sandalas. Sandalas. Sandalias. Sandalias. You could say pantalones cortos. You could say un suéter, a sweater. Remember, we let's see, do we have any of those? Yes. So some of your vocabulary words are important to remember, and we can use to answer this question. For those who do wear gloves, llevo los guantes, llevo un sombrero, llevo un suéter, llevo los calcetines con mis botas. It's all just independent. Just depending on what do you wear? What do you usually wear? Number 11. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? Okay, well, this is asking you, what is your favorite color? I would say, you could say, azul es mi color más favorito. Or you could say, mi color más favorito es dot, dot, dot. Let's go back up to your vocabulary. What are some of these colors? Well, we got amarillo, yellow, anaranjado, orange, azul, blue, blanco, gris, gray, marrón, or café. There are two different colors for brown. We have morado, morada, purple, negro, negra, black, rojo, rosado, pink, verde, verde, green. These colors are good to know. You're probably going to need to know these for your exam. Amarillo, yellow, amarillo, yellow. Anaranjado, orange. Anaranjado, orange. Azul, blue. Azul, blue. Blanco, blanco, white. Gris, gray. Marrón, or café, brown. Morado, purple. Negro, black. Rojo, rojo, red. Rosado, pink. Verde, green. Those are good colors to remember for your exam. Okay. ¿Tienes guantes? ¿De qué color? ¿Tienes guantes? ¿De qué color? So guantes is gloves. Do you have gloves? What color? Of which color? ¿Cuál? Which? So you could say sí. Yo, we're looking at the verb they're using, tener. Sí. Yo tengo guantes. You can say guantes azules. Guantes. Grande. You can say this the color, or you can say, sí, yo tengo guantes del color of the color rojo. Dorado. Dot, dot, dot. Or, okay, and if this was in preterite, it would look like, ¿tuviste guantes? ¿De cuál color? You could say, sí, tuviste. Sí, tuve guantes del color rojo or del color negra. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, we have 3 more questions and we'll be done with this. So this question, number 13, is asking you, ¿regateas mucho? ¿Para cuál objeto? Do you bargain a lot? For which object? Well, I love to bargain when I'm at an antique store. I think there are certain things that may be overpriced, and with some bargaining, you can really lower the price and get a good deal. So this is asking, do you bargain a lot? For what object? You could say sí. Regateo, present tense, regateo, mucho, para, which just means for, para, las antiguas, for the antiques. Or sí, regateo mucho para libros de texto. Or you can say for video games, videojuegos. Just list an object. ¿Llevas botas durante el verano? This can be a trick question. Or, I mean, some people do wear boots during the summertime, but I don't. So a person could say sí or no. Llevo botas durante el verano. Or you could say no. No llevo botas durante el verano. Porque, because it's hot. Porque hace calor. Okay, our last question. ¿Cuáles son 2 colores que no hacen juego? This is part of your vocab. Hacer juego. This means to match. So, what are 2 colors that do not match? I would say you can start off this question by listing what are the 2 colors that don't go together. Rojo rojo y negro son dos colores que no hacen juego. Or you could say, dos colores que no hacen juego son rojo y rosada. Red and pink. See, there are different ways to answer the question, but they're pretty much very similar. Okay. I've listed saber and conocer, listed a practice quiz for that. Last time we met, we went over the demonstrative adjectives. Remember, this and these both have T's, but that and those do not. Este, esta, estos, estas. Ese, esa, esos, esas. And then we have aquel, aquella, aquelos, aquellas, which just refers to that or those over there. Aquelos, aquelas is plural, so that refers to those. Aquel, aquella refers to that. Okay, this is the last part, and I'm going to, after that, I'm going to send this to you so that you can use it, and just let me know if you have any questions. So I'm just going to quickly read through these, and I'm going to tell you the most important information. But it's just important for sections like this that you read and remember, just follow along with me. Because once you remember, you can say, este hecho es cierto. This statement is correct, or es falso. Because I think this section is going to be true or false. Okay, so este es un párrafo sobre Cuba. And we see that la capital de Cuba is La Habana. La Habana. And La Habana fue declarada Patrimonio Cultural de la Humanidad por la UNESCO en 1982, in 1982. So it's just saying that this capital was declared part of the cultural humanity or UNESCO. And then there's also this Plaza de Armas. You can visit, se puede visitar el majestuoso Palacio de Capitanes Generales, que ahora es un museo. There's a museum, that is called La Plaza de Armas, or Palacio de Capitanes, and that is located in La Plaza de Armas. So there is a museum there. There is a street in this plaza called La Calle Obispo. And there's just a lot of beautiful coffee shops, cafes, and just beautiful shopping centers, tiendas elegantes. Okay, so important cities to remember about Cuba is that there is Santiago de Cuba. We have Guantanamo. We have Camagüey, Holguín. I don't really think these are that important to remember. Okay. Spanish is the official language. And let's continue. So these are just a list of some of the celebrities. And a question may be like, Carlos Finlay es un actor. ¿Cierto o falso? Or that's totally false, because clearly he is a doctor and scientific person. I don't think she'll ask you about that name. She may ask you about Fidel Castro, who was very important in regards to the Cuban history. He is el ex primer ministro, the ex prime minister and commander in charge of their army. That's important to know. Know him. He's important. Fidel Castro. Okay. Just looking at this, 3 tiny little paragraphs. Yeah, so it's important to know this, that baile is important to the Cuban culture. They have the Baile Nacional de Cuba, and there's the ballerina Alicia Alonso. She is important to know. Alicia Alonso. Know that she is a Cuban ballerina. And that the Ballet Nacional de Cuba es muy famoso. Ok, la economía. La caña de azúcar y el tabaco son 2 productos súper importantes. So, caña de azúcar is sugarcane and el tobacco. And the sugarcane is very important for their agriculture. And it is the most cultivated product, agricultural product produced on the island. En su exportación es muy importante para la economía del país. Okay, and that it's very important for the economy of Cuba. And el tobacco es usada para fabricar los famosos purros cubanos. Es otro cultivo de mucha importancia. So basically, the tobacco is another important product. So just remember from this paragraph that sugarcane and tobacco, they're very important agricultural products for Cuba. Then we have la gente, la población. Okay, it's the overall Cuba is very heterogeneous, and that's what this is saying. La población cubana tiene raíces muy heterogéneas. And the immigration to the island was very much so determinate desde la colonia hasta mediados del siglo XX, so the 20th century. Los cubanos hoy son descendientes. This is important to know, that the Cubans, many of them are descended from Africans, Europeans, los europeos, chinos, italianos, and that's it. So Africans, Europeans, Chinese, and Antilianos. I'm going to confirm which that is, but or know that sentence. Antiliano, from the Antilles, or like West Indian people, like Native Americans. Okay, this last paragraph, la música, Buena Vista Social Club, en 1997, en 1997, nace el fenómeno musical conocido como Buena Vista Social Club. So there's this really famous musical called Buena Vista Social Club. Este proyecto reúne a un grupo de importantes músicos. So it's a group of very important musicians from Cuba, en la mayoría ya mayores, con una larga trayectoria interpretando canciones clásicas del son cubano. Ese mismo año ganaron un Grammy. Know that this is just the group. Buena Vista Social Club, a famous group of musicians, and they won a Grammy. And today, hoy en día, estos músicos son conocidos en todo el mundo. So they're just very famous and they're well known from the whole by everyone in the world. And their music has a lot of rhythm and they're very important. Okay. Pequeño y liviano. Es una de las más. So there's this hummingbird. This last little two sentence is saying that there's this hummingbird called el colibrí abeja, and there are more than 320 species, basically. So, Tyler, that's a wrap. Again, I would know Fidel Castro, know some of these cities, but primarily just remember that Habana is the capital. I would remember that baile is very important to Cuba in their culture, and the famous ballerina Alicia Alfonso. Remember in regards to their economy, la caña de azúcar and tobacco, they're very important. So sugarcane and tobacco, remember that that Cubans come from a very heterogeneous background. They're descended from Africans, Europeans, Chinese, and Native Americans. Los Antilianos. Music is very important to Cubans, and there is this famous music club called Buena Vista Social Club, and this group of musicians, they are very well known. Also remember that there is this hummingbird, and there are over 320 different types of hummingbirds in Cuba, and this one right here is called El Colibrí Abeja. So as long as you're familiar with what I just said, you should do fine if you come across a true or false question regarding Cuba in all these different aspects. Okay, well, I'll send you the study guide and I guess we can meet tomorrow, but it will have to be virtual. I have a very important exam I'm studying for, Tyler, and I'm going to be at home for that, preparing for that exam. So I'll need to do something virtual, but I think that you will do fine. You did really well with learning saber, conocer, demonstrative adjectives, indirect object pronouns. You did well with preterite and conjugating. You need to work on your vocabulary. There probably is going to be about 100 at least vocabulary words that you're going to need to remember. I'm proud of you for pushing through this vocab, and you can do this. Just look at the study guide. But for the most part, whenever we reviewed together, you understood it. That's why if you feel like you forgot something, I listed the practice quizzes, and besides the vocab, also focus your time on what I just said about Cuba. Just remember those basic facts, and you should do fine. Okay, hasta luego. Let me see how to stop this.